The suspense is killing me.
What, from Brooker chuckling, or
No,
from
from
just
waiting for you.
Well, shut up and I'll start.
42 minutes I've been waiting for you now.
Okay, do you want to host?
No. No, fuck
Stop
face, it's
whining.
your go.
Okay, right. Hello and welcome to the Character Unlock podcast, once again hosted by me, John, and with me are my good buddies Brooker.
Hello, buddy.
And Lee.
Hello.
How are we, gents?
All right, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Just a little on edge after having had to drive home as quickly as possible to try and make it considerably late to this recording, so I've already failed miserably at the trying to get everything done and dusted and away before, 10 o'clock, but that's just not going to happen now. Lee, how are you doing?
Honestly, I had fallen asleep briefly. It's been 3 hours. We've sat here waiting for you, or just under 3 hours. You said I'm just on my way back, and I fell asleep, and I managed to finish a couple of games while you were on your way back. So
yeah, I just went to get some milk like your dad, and decided to come back slightly quicker.
I'll see the old man never came home.
Right.
I love it. John says, I won't be long. I'm just on my way back. Lee goes, I'll just start another game, and then he finished Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Right. Gents, it's been a funny couple of weeks.
Funny's a
Ish.
word.
Funny is
Yeah,
a word that
definitely.
we'll use for this one. So we've had, a set of gaming awards in the last couple of weeks. It's literally 6 days ago. So
Achilles.
that was a thing. So had a couple of announcements of some new games coming.
Oh, boys, the announcements were fucking great.
Yeah. There was, there's new content for some games that have been around for a little while, like Smash Bros. Ultimate getting Sephiroth, or however Paddy pronounced it.
I don't know. Sepir, Final Fantasy character.
Yep, that's the one. And we're getting a Dragon Age 4.
Well, we already
more
knew about
content for
Dragon Age,
Fall
didn't
Guys.
I think
No.
it wasn't an official, was it? I don't think.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it was just kind of like we're probably going to be making a Dragon Age
Yeah,
at some
the
point.
same as the Mass Effect one. Obviously, we didn't know, but everyone knew, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
And a Star Wars game, Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which, yeah, that's a thing.
I missed that.
Of course, there's also more Fortnite stuff coming.
There's loads of shit, really. Like, if you pick into the smaller stuff too, there was a Left 4 Dead successor and an Evil Dead, the game.
Yeah, was it
a remake
Back
or
Back for Blood? Which is the Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, Back for Blood. Yeah, Left 4 Dead.
Which looks kind of
spiritual
cool.
sequel.
Yeah, Evil Dead the game, which looks like Dead by Daylight to me.
It did look a lot like that. Yeah.
So it looks like Dead by Daylight, or like the Friday the 13th game. So
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Obviously.
Ghosts and Goblins remake. Fuck
yeah.
that. Fuck that.
Yeah, I hate it. It was so hard. Perfect Dark as well.
Yeah.
Rebooted. Arc 2 with
Untitled.
Vin Diesel.
He's producing it as well and doing loads of it's just Vin Diesel's life, the video game.
Because all those other games he was in sold so fucking well.
I didn't care for the first one all that much.
I've not played Ark. It doesn't
I
look
mean,
like my bag at all.
it looked like a really fun idea that was very poorly executed. Unlike, well, a lot of games that have really cool ideas that are really poorly executed.
Wow.
The Callisto Protocol, that's one for
Oh,
you, Brooks.
oh, it looks
That
so.
looks really good, but
It
no,
looks
not for
so
me.
good. It's gonna be so scary. So I properly geeked out. Did you guys watch the trailer for it?
Yes, with one eye closed.
With one I had. Did you listen to the trailer?
Not with a headset.
I just me being the stupid uber fucking geek that I am about shit like that. The when the game finally pans out from the cell where the monster is, and you got all the monitors, and then you see the transport ship heading off to Jupiter's moon or wherever the fuck they're going. Did you catch the name of the transport ship?
No.
No? Oh, I'd expect better from you. I really would. The transport ship was called Karan or Keron, whatever, however you want to pronounce it.
Karen.
The boatman.
Yeah, the boatman who, picks people up and takes them down the sticks.
Yeah, which I thought was super cool.
To the death.
Calling
To
your
Tartarus to take them down there.
yeah. So calling your transport ship, that I thought was very cool, and just made me do a little bit of a squee. But made by one of the executive producers of Dead Space, which is more of a marketing ploy than it is actually a sign of quality, because executive producer, frankly, doesn't mean an awful lot.
Doesn't it usually just mean that guy who stood around and made the game a lot of money?
No. So executive producer, well, producer tends to be the guy who finds the money and makes people work really hard. Executive producer tends to be the guy who got the contract to stay on, even though he didn't know what he was doing. I'm being glib. I don't know the guy, but he was once an executive producer for Visceral Games when they were EA Redwood. So, if it injects a little bit of Dead Space, I'll be happy. Dead Space is super cool and pretty fucking scary, and I could do with a new horror game, so absolutely, 100% my bag. It looks fucking awesome. Along with, Evil Dead and Back for Blood looks okay. But what was the one I said that looked... Oh, Fist, which stands for something.
Fist.
But it's called Fist.
Fuck it. And then two other gross swear words.
Sideways titties. I don't know.
That works.
But that was kind of like a action platformer looking thing, which looked pretty cool, but also looks like that game I'm going to play and go, yeah, after half an hour I don't want to play this anymore. Because that tends to be how I play
Shadow
those games.
Torch?
Yeah, it looks like one of mine, really. That Fist one does.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I like that one.
I mean, it's Metroidvania. It's right up your fucking street.
Yep.
And they announced the Shady Part of Me, which was a platform puzzler. Not only announced it, but then announced it was coming out like now. So literally, advert played, and it was like out now.
Oh, that's cool.
It's cool.
Well, I like it when I do that.
It's not a bad game either. I've only played it for
generate
about an hour. I'm about a third of the way through it. So I bought it the second I saw the trailer, because I was like, this looks fucking cool. And it is kind of cool. I don't think it's going to be particularly hard to finish. So I bought it on my Switch, and I sat and watched it while I was watching the football Sunday night. And I will continue to play it this Sunday while I'm watching the football. But yeah, a lot of fun, actually. I really liked it. Kind of a bit like Limbo or Little Nightmares, that kind of puzzler platformer type thing.
Yeah.
But the unique selling point in this one is you play as a little girl and as her shadow, as they're trying to get out of somewhere, and you need the two entities to work together to get through the levels, because the girl can't go into the light, and the shadow can't go into the dark, so you have to move things around as each other to get each other through the levels. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
Like I say, it wasn't particularly taxing, but I'm only about a third through it. But yeah, it's fun, man. I think I paid 11 quid for it. I paid 11 quid for far worse.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, then there were
Sure.
actually some awards as well.
Yeah, and to no one's surprise, the Last of Us Part 2 got a lot of awards.
Shit,
Like,
yeah, son.
I'm pretty sure it didn't win 2 awards that it was up for, I think. And one of them was Best Art Direction, which was won by Ghosts of Tsushima. And the other one was like Best Score, which was from Final Fantasy got that one.
Yeah. It also didn't win the Player's Choice Game of the Year.
I went to Ghost as
That
well,
went to
didn't it?
Ghost of Tsushima, yeah.
No, nobody cares about the Player's Choice.
Except everybody that voted for it so that Last of Us didn't win it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah,
was so
I
upset.
didn't disagree with many of them. I disagreed with all the esports ones just because I don't know any of them, and I just wish it had gone to another guy or girl.
I disagree with all
Or
the esports
person.
ones because I don't think esports needs a ceremony.
No, I agree.
you
Esports
sure?
host.
Yeah.
Who's the best esports host?
Well,
Well, it wasn't.
no, I'm sorry.
That guy that
Best-
I can't pronounce.
Best esports athlete, you need to fuck off.
Yeah.
You're sitting at a really nice, expensive computer playing Rainbow Six Siege. Motherfucker, you are not an athlete. Just as the guy standing behind you cheering you on is not the best esports coach.
Esports coach. The best thing is that the guy who won the best esports coach wasn't actually like well, the guys that he were coaching weren't voted into the best esports athlete anywhere.
Brilliant.
So
he's a great
Classic.
coach.
we've got the best coach, but he can't fucking guide us to a good win apparently. For best athlete.
That's like being a Patriots fan, that is.
Yep.
The world's best coach can't win fuck all.
Yeah. Well, I'm disappointed that Hades didn't get more because it was up for a lot, but then the caliber of games that it was up against, considering it was an indie,
Yeah. I
you
think
know,
it done
it
well.
still got in that top 5.
Yeah, it done
of
well to
most
be
of them.
nominated for a lot of these.
Exactly, yeah. So it got in Game of the Year, Game Direction, you know, got into pretty much all of them. Narrative, Art Direction.
Best narrative. Yeah. But it did win best indie.
It did
So
win.
it's got
It
that
win,
going
win
for it,
Best
which is-
Indie and Best Action Game.
Which is great. The best indie, obviously Spelunky I've not played, but obviously it's a big game. Same as Spiritfarer.
Yeah, I'm sure that was years ago.
Well, I thought
I'm
that as
sure.
well. Fall Guys
Sure.
came out of fucking nowhere this year and just blew
Yeah.
everybody away. So I'm for Hades to beat that, I think is interesting. Carrion, I haven't played yet. I really want to.
The fact that
Carrion was great.
Hades won and Carrion was was in there as well meant that Lee was super happy because he would have accepted either of those games.
Yeah. I think
Carrion
that,
is fun.
no offense to Fall Guys, but I don't think that would have done so well if they hadn't have given it away on PS Plus.
True.
Yeah, it's
Because there wasn't really much to it.
No.
It
No,
was
there
kind
isn't.
of just
There's
like
fuck
a
all to
little
it.
fun game. Yeah, you know.
It came out of nowhere. It went free on PlayStation Plus, which was a massive bonus to it. And the fact that the streaming community, unfortunately, did pick up on it quite significantly. Like the way that Among Us came out of nowhere this year, even though it was a game from like 3-4 years ago almost.
Yeah.
But still won Best Mobile Game because it came out on mobile this year. So, although I still find it amusing how Best Mobile Game actually includes Call of Duty Mobile, which has been out for years.
Yep.
I mean, like years, and because I think I came up with Black Ops 4 or around the similar time.
I don't know. I don't remember.
I know I've had it for a while and played it off and on for a while, but yeah. Any big surprises that you think came out of there apart from No Man's Sky winning Best Ongoing?
Less a surprise, a bit of a surprise, but still very, very happy. The best performance going to Laura Bailey for Abby in The Last of Us. Now, Abby, without giving spoilers, because I've kind of promised myself I'm not going to talk The Last of Us spoilers publicly until like after Christmas. Let people that might get it for Christmas get it and play it. But Abby is, without a doubt, my favourite character in the entire Last of Us universe.
She voiced young Trunks.
I don't know what that means.
From Dragon Ball Z. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Laura Bailey's got quite a big IMDb
She has a
page.
huge resume.
But I was so happy to have
Black Widow.
She is it. I was so happy to have her win for Abby, because Abby is amazing, and like I say, my favourite easily my favourite character in Last of Us 2,
Yep.
and probably my favourite character across the
Logan
the
Cunningham
series.
was very good in Hades, and I think he did. He didn't just do. He was only up for Hades, but he did. I think he did about 7 of the main characters' voices. So yeah, really good work, and he's a brilliant voice actor, to be fair. But I wouldn't deny Laura Bailey the win either, to be quite honest.
Oh,
thought
she was
that
amazing. She was absolutely
brilliant
amazing.
game and brilliant work.
Everything else I'm happy with. Of course, I'm happy with Last of Us being Game of the Year.
And to be fair, it probably deserved it, considering it's a fucking huge game, and it's, as much as people say that, oh, it's shit, and I've not played it yet, so I don't know what the fuck has happened and why it's caused everyone to absolutely fucking hate the game. But the fact that it's managed to get so many people that emotionally invested into it one way or the other truly shows that it's definitely done something right.
Yeah, I personally, because it won Best Game Direction as well, and I think this is quite important, because one of the things that angered a lot of people comes from the direction of the game, and it's because it's directed like a proper story. So, none of your heroes are actually heroes. None of your heroes get a decent hero's ending in their stories, and that's what annoyed a lot of people. And
yeah, people thought it was a superhero game or some shit.
And this is the
but
problem.
It was like a bleak zombie apocalypse.
Well, it's a bleak zombie apocalypse where your good guys aren't good guys. They're the better of a bad bunch, but they're still
they both
nasty
went through
fuckers.
just killing hundreds of people in the first game. Hundreds of actual survivors.
Yeah.
And zombies.
So that big emotional moment that angered so many fucking people, there was no other way to continue the story. It would be impossible without completely sacrificing all of your world building.
Mm.
So
I don't think it was a surprise that one from people that had a brain. The only one that really I'm actually quite surprised by was most anticipated game. It went to Elden Ring.
That's because I've heard no talk about that at all.
Because that looked pant. All there is one FMV trailer. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pulling a lot of people going, oh shit, it's going to be like a really fucking good game. But in reality, we don't know anything about it, really. It could end up being a fucking...
we know it's a Dark
FMV.
Souls game from the guy that wrote Game of Thrones. That's literally all we know.
Oh, so that's it. I mean, and that beat off Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Which obviously any Nintendo fan wanks about. Resident Evil Village, which any horror fan is banging for.
Yeah.
And then
Halo Infinite, which everyone has bought an Xbox in the last week.
And then Halo Infinite that they've dragged out just so that they can make it work on the old consoles.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Horizon and God of War, I would have gone for one of those two personally, but
I remember looking at that and I thought, I would like, Resi or Horizon or God of War to win. I would have expected God of War more likely Halo. Just because they're the ones that are making the biggest amount of noise. I've heard nothing from Elden Ring.
You actually know something.
Well,
you actually know something that's coming out from these games.
I've heard nothing from Elden Ring since it was announced 2 E3s ago.
Yeah, and it's from Software and Bandai as well. And Bandai, they have a lot of games, but they don't really have any that are truly outstanding.
No.
Not
But
that I
it's just the fact that it's from Software and George R.R. Martin together has just made people, for some reason, go full sploosh over it.
George R.R. Martin, thank you. I kept wanting to say
I-
J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm like, no, it's not that.
Same thing.
Pretty much. Oh no, to be fair, Tolkien at least finished his fucking stories.
I think that, well,
Well, that's
did
the
he?
thing.
Well, he finished his books at least.
George R.R. Martin doesn't need to finish his fucking books anymore because no one was going to bother reading them after the Game of Thrones has happened and ended themselves. It doesn't matter what he does; it's going to be wrong or
Yeah.
right or whatever. But in reality, he's made a small fortune out of it. He can do whatever the fuck he likes, so he never needs to write ever again for Game of Thrones if he just doesn't want to anymore. If he doesn't care about the universe anymore because he's ended it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with making a TV show based on a set of books that don't have an ending, and then wondering how you're going to fucking end it.
Mm.
So,
I'm a big fan of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 winning Best Sports Game.
Well,
well,
The field was so barren this year.
it was really well done, and it was a really good make. But I mean, there's nothing else on that list that would go, oh yeah, vote for me, because they're just generics.
Dirt 5 is just another racing rally game that isn't really even specifically rally. It's Dirt 5 isn't the same as the Dirt Rally games. That one, the Dirt Standard series is more arcadey. It's more Gymkhana based. And F1 is, unless you're a huge F1 fan, doesn't matter how good you fucking make the game, it's going to end up being only Formula 1 fans that play it. It's not the pinnacle of racing games in one way or the other. And apparently this latest 2K NBA game is actually quite poor. Fortunately, I've not played it. And FIFA 21, again, FIFA 21 has its own... Yeah, it's FIFA 20 that's been reskinned and given an Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 enhancement version, which
is out
technically
now?
It's out now, and it's technically not backwards compatible because supposedly it's running a different engine in some way or another. It's still Frostbite, but it's different enough. And that they've retooled it and reworked it. You can't play against or with people on the older gen consoles with that version. I currently have 2 versions of FIFA installed to my Xbox. The Xbox One version so I can play with my friends who have Xbox Ones, and then the Series X version so I can actually play the slightly better build game.
So you can play FIFA on your own with slightly nicer grass.
Well, not just that, but the game overall plays better.
Fair enough.
Marginally, but it does. Like it doesn't feel like you're playing on ice as much like the last couple have, but yeah, that's that. Disappointed that Bungie and Destiny didn't win anything, but I don't suppose they would have done after.
So were they nominated for Best Ongoing?
Best Ongoing and Community Support.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
But Fall Guys won Community Support, which, yeah, I can understand because they've been all over they've been very well playing with the community, and No Man's Sky getting Best Ongoing. Although I've not played No Man's Sky, so I don't really know how. I didn't even realize it was still a thing.
Yeah, because it basically got rebuilt, didn't it? Turned itself into a live service. Proper multiplayer. I think it's got VR support now. Yeah, the Hello Games turned that around by all accounts. I've not played it, but
I tried to play it again recently, but it was just more of the same game. So, although better,
yeah,
I'd already played it essentially, so I weren't interested in going back. But it seems like they've made a good effort.
I just scrolled down to the content creator thing. Only person on that list that I actually know is Tim the Tatman, and that's because he's the guy that couldn't get a win on Fall Guys to the point where they sent him an award to say that you are the worst player at Fall Guys ever. You actually have a worse win-loss ratio than a bot that they purposely built in testing to lose.
Brilliant.
So, yeah. That's probably why they won Best Community Support. Because they just trolled that one streamer who could not play.
I don't know any of those streamers.
No, it's not really.
I don't watch streamers. I watch Paddy, and that's it.
Yeah. But some people like streamers. I'm not going to say that I do, because I've never particularly watched one outside of trying to win awards for whatever game it is that they happen to be playing, because sometimes they link up with them. So I think there were some Destiny Twitch awards where you had to watch certain Twitch streamers at certain times, and then you got a random drop in Destiny. Nothing particularly good or impressive. I think there's been a couple for FIFA as well, and GTA's had one or two. As has Fall Guys and Among Us. Either way, moving on to the other bit of news, and that apparently some game got released, starring Keanu Reeves in some capacity. People are happy and other people are not happy about it. You heard of this game?
Cyberbug.
Cyberbugs.
Superbug? Superbugs.
Lads. Lads.
Cyberpunk 2077 has absolutely destroyed the internet in both positive, negative, transphobic ways, all kinds of different shit. It's insane, everything that's happening around it. Where do we even start with this?
You start with reviews, is where you start.
Yeah.
So CDPR sent out review copies of the game to everybody that asked for one, but they only sent out PC copies.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. Obviously, and anybody with half a brain knows these games are built to run on someone's, £9,000 PC. That they're still going to be able to cook eggs on it when they run it on Ultra, because that's just what they do. But then there was the added stipulation that they were only allowed to capture pre-rendered game footage for video reviews.
Basically, the internal cutscenes.
Yeah. So nothing in engine, just the stuff that have been pre-made. Basically, the video files in the game. So you don't get to show performance issues with that. Then it then very quickly came out that this game runs like absolute shit on the base Xbox and PS4s. And now, while this isn't a surprise to anybody, this game was built for the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yes.
It's a game that 10 years in the making. It might be a 7-year-old generation, but they've released the game on these consoles. And it should work, and it didn't. Catastrophic failure in some reports in some cases.
I mean, I know we're all used to games coming out and having a myriad of game-breaking bugs, issues. People just popping up in the air and swinging around New York City as a lamppost, but I think this particular game has come out and it is shutting people's consoles down.
Yeah.
And it's not just the old gen or Gen 8 or whatever it was. It is doing it to the Series X and the PS5s as well. I mean, we're going to focus on the Xbox One X the Xbox One, sorry, and the PS4, because they're getting the hardest hit, and it looks like absolute horse shit on those. And obviously, but because it's CDPR, it's got a bit of it has arguments for it.
Yeah.
People are arguing, saying, well, they've done their best, blah blah blah. Great, and we appreciate that they've obviously done their best, and everyone of a reasonable brain capacity or a reasonable adult knows that, yeah, obviously these guys work their ass off, and someone's just gone, right, we've got to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
did you
at the
guys
same
read
time-
their announcement yesterday, 2 days ago?
That they're not making that game for GOG anymore.
So no. So they put
That
out
one?
a little apology post a couple of days ago. So I won't read the whole thing because it's a little bit long. But as a dear gamers, first of all, we'd like to start by apologising to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. You think?
Yeah.
Second, we will fix bugs and crashes and improve the overall experience. Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Finally, we would always like everyone who buys our games to be satisfied with their purchase. We would appreciate it if you would give us a chance. But if you're not pleased with the game on your console and don't want to wait for updates, you can opt to refund your copy. For copies purchased digitally, please use the refund system of PSN and Xbox respectively. Non-existent refund systems, we should add. For box versions, please first try to get a refund at the store where you bought the game. Should this not be possible, please contact us at blah, 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 blah. So, thanks CDPR for giving us our legally entitled right to refund a non-fucking working product. I'd really like to thank you for bending over backwards for that. That's great, cunts. But second, since that appeared, I personally have seen 3 different chat messages, 2 for PlayStation and 1 for Xbox, where people have been refused refunds even after quoting this thing from Cyberpunk.
Well, that's the thing, is that Xbox did openly turn around. I don't know if PlayStation have themselves, and said they have no deal in place with CDPR about this.
And neither of these
that
companies have proper refund systems anymore.
Yeah, and they openly said that if you fall within the category of our own refund system, then you can get it refunded. But if you don't fall under their whatever arbitrary rules are for refunds, then you're not going to get your refund, regardless of the regardless of what CD Projekt Red have decided to put out. Because let's be honest, they probably know that as well. They're saying that, okay, yeah, you can get a refund if you want one, but as long as Microsoft and Sony say, yeah, all right, because they're the ones that are also out of pocket on that.
Yeah.
Like if you walked into your local game store and said, I want a refund on Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk said that my game's broken and that I want a refund from it.
They tell you to
game
fuck
are going
off.
to turn around. The game are going to turn around and say, oh, okay, well, here's your money back, and we now need to stick this in the pre-owned section because you've opened it.
Well, that's the thing. You see, game. I think once you've taken the wrapping off.
Yeah, if you take the wrapper off, it's done.
It's
used.
It's open. It's now used. You can't return it. Such are the terms and conditions of buying a game from Game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have a deal with CDPR either. So it would literally be, you'd need to do that click button thing to say that, yeah, I'd like a refund, and they're going to try and fix everything for everyone. And it'll be you have to send it in the post to Poland for them to then collect all of the copies.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that, oh yeah, we'll give you a refund and then let them keep the game.
Yep.
Because that's just nonsensical.
So, a complete farce from start to finish, this release.
Yeah.
And from all reports, people I've read that been playing it and not had issues, have been enjoying it.
Yeah, I've been playing it. I'll talk more about it later, but I've not had any issues apart from the kind of weird stuff that you kind of half expect, like big open world game, you're driving around and you're transitioning between areas really quickly, and something happens, like the phone rings, and you just go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's causing a bit of an issue." And I get like minor soft locks where the audio stays, but the game just freezes for a bit, and then within 5 seconds it's fixed and it's carry on as if it's just thought, oh shit, I haven't rendered enough of the game, I need to do a big chunk at once now.
Yeah.
But it's usually because far too much has happened at once. It's usually driving into the city as opposed to any away or around, and if the phone rings for someone trying to contact me, because there is a lot, and I mean there is a lot of contacts in this game. Like every time you go to an area, you get a phone call from that area's fixer who wants to give you a load of jobs, which are actually called gigs, obviously. But beyond that, I've got a friend that has played on an original Xbox One, Day One edition Xbox One, because he's still using that. It's not his; he actually got it from one of my other friends when they upgraded. But he's got that, and he's done big 14 to 18 hour stints playing this game.
Yeah.
And it's only bricked his Xbox twice since he started playing it on Thursday in those, and he's played consistently 14 to 18 hour stints on it.
Bloody hell.
So he's probably one of the lucky ones, I guess, considering what other people are saying, that it's a broken mess. But
I'd say he's one of the lucky ones because he's got 16 hours in a day to play a game.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's just returned back. Well, I say returned home. He's on his Christmas break period now.
Jesus.
So he's an architect. So yeah, there's that.
Fair enough.
He's on his architect on his Christmas break period, so he's literally got all the fucking time in the world. So he's got 16-hour days to play Cyberpunk. So he's sitting on Cyberpunk for big, long stints of time, and he's not had any issues. But the same with every game, like when it gets launched, it's always going to have a vocal majority of people who've got issues and who hate it, because if you have an issue, what's the first thing you do? Complain. If you've got no issues and you're enjoying the game, what do? You play it. You carry on playing it. It's a bit like with when Beyond Light came out. There was a lot of shit hitting the internet about how shit Beyond Light was.
Oh,
and then
100%. No one goes on to Google reviews to say how great the service at Papa John's was, ever. You only ever go on to bitch and moan.
Yeah, because, well, I mean, and then 2 weeks later, there's loads of positive coming out for Beyond Light. And there's the obvious people are half confused and can't quite work out why suddenly 2 weeks later everyone's really enjoying something that's shit, when in reality it's actually the people who were enjoying it are now talking about it because they finished what it is that they're doing. So I give it a week, 2 weeks, and suddenly the Cyberpunk will be hilariously well loved, because all of the minority currently of people who are enjoying it will start going out and playing it, and I'm enjoying it. So while I'm going to talk about it, I've not even got close to finishing it.
I think there's going to be a degree of that, but I also think in this case there's been a lot of fucking shady goings on from CDPR, and I think the purposefully gimping reviews and reviewers, I think is a bit much, because you can't tell me that they accidentally did that and they didn't realise what they were doing was not letting people see the older versions. They 100% knew exactly what was going on.
They knew exactly what they were doing by sending out review to people who wanted it, playing on PCs that have got 3080s or 3090s installed in Crossfire or whichever one it is. Like PCs that can play this type of game, plus running Crysis at the same time, Red Dead Online and GTA all at the same time, and still be running Whisper Quiet and Cold.
Yeah. This is the problem, right. I think. it's not necessarily the buggy game, and there are bugs, and it does seem really fucking bad. But you're right, there is going to be a degree of the only people online at the moment talking about it are people that are bitching because everybody else is enjoying playing their game. But I do think the shady goings on beforehand, I think that's playing a big part of it.
The shady is the worst bit.
Yeah, 100%.
That is the worst bit. The bugs, everyone's fucking, we're all used to that shit.
Yeah.
We're all used to
Witcher 3 came out with a hilarious amount of bugs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Everything comes out. Look at everything that comes out now, especially the bigger games as well. They are just absolute bug-ridden.
But they'll never get rid of they'll never get rid of an even particularly large amount of bugs.
No, of course not, and no one expects them to anymore, really, because that's the done thing. The worst thing about this is that they try to pull the fucking wool over everybody's eyes.
Yeah, they've known they've got a product.
That is dirty play.
Yeah, they know they've got a product that doesn't work on a massive percentage of what people are going to be playing on, so they don't allow it to be shown until people have got their fucking pre-orders. And the fucking game made a profit. 10 years that game's been in development. It made a profit in a day.
Yes.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, and it was going to make a profit. I don't think it would have mattered much had they shown review code and reviews of the running on the standard consoles, because it's this game was going to make sales, and people probably would have gone, okay, yeah, it's fine, whatever, I'll play it. Like my friend, for instance, playing on an old console, he laughs because we keep sending him like pictures of what it looks like for us, and he doesn't have that because his render distance is tiny for like the really good detail.
Yeah,
because it just can't handle the big stuff. Although I can honestly say that I've never seen anything that he sent from his Xbox to me that's looked even remotely as bad as some of the stuff that I've been seeing online. But I've also noticed that the game runs hilariously bad on the standard PS4 in comparison to the standard Xbox One. Like, there is a big jump.
PS4 is the worst.
Yeah.
The PS4 is so bad in comparison to everything else. That it just looks... If Cyberpunk had been a launch title for the PS4 and the Xbox One and looked the way that they do, then the Cyberpunk would have probably been considered one of the worst games ever made, because it just isn't optimized at all for what it was. But then in the saying the only reason this game exists in the way that it does is because of the sheer amount of power we've managed to get out of graphics cards and NVMe memory in the last 4 years, 3 years even.
Well, they've done a bit of a backtrack this evening anyway in terms of they've said that if you own a digital copy of the game, and basically Xbox are refunding it through a support article. If you own a digital copy on PlayStation, you got to wait for CD Projekt Red to get back to you, because Sony are just saying fuck off, basically.
Sony have said fuck off digital refunds forever. I don't think they've ever offered and never will offer digital refunds.
No, it's not in their remit. They're not in the business to refund people. And if it takes this game for people to actually notice just how bad some of Sony's practices are for their customers, like getting people to come to them, and they are probably one of the best companies in the world at doing that, getting more and more people to buy their stuff. Treating the customers that they've already got is pretty low on their list, and for some reason they've gotten away with it for an extraordinary amount of time.
Yeah.
Because you've had your own issues with Sony in the past, Brooks.
I have had issues with Sony in regards to their customer service and their refund policies. I've had issues with them, but in fairness, up until very recently, I was quite vocal about how I loved Xbox and how great they were for customer service and, again, refunds. and then they fucking refused to refund me because I'd played a game, even though the game was broken. So now I just have a broken game. Woohoo! Now it just lives there in my library, never to be touched. But because the game had been downloaded and played, no, it no longer is it no longer qualifies for a refund. And it took me forever looking. I don't think they have their live chat up and running anymore. If you want to talk to them about games.
Well,
Hey, welcome back.
how's it going?
What the fuck was that?
No?
You disappeared off for a good 15, 20 seconds while me and John had a chat.
Yeah. You were about to start slagging off Xbox on a Skype call, and like that's it. They censored it.
What the fuck happened there?
I think Sony automatically censored you somehow.
Oh, I'm not fucking saying it again.
They sent the ninjas through the window. I mean, it's probably recorded on your end. So, but we'll never know what it was he said until Lee listens to the episode and comments on it in the text message.
Oh well.
But let's move on, because there is I want to say that it's kind of important. It doesn't affect me directly, but it's something that should be mentioned in the trans community has taken a large amount of offense to the way that Cyberpunk has put in together the experience of the transhuman, and the way that it fails the audience. But not just that, it goes out of its way to perpetuate the negative stereotypes of it.
Okay.
Because it's the only the way that you have a transgender, or the way that it is that it's that the idea of a gender is not determined by the character's genitals. So you can have man and or woman, and then any combination of the genitals that you so choose. However, it's that when your character's gender and pronouns are determined by your character's voice. So they have a masculine voice and a feminine voice, and that is what makes everyone else react to you as either male or female.
Okay.
As opposed to any others, so selecting the masculine or feminine body type or the genitalia, it's the character's voice is what makes people identify as male or female. So it's the higher pitched voice is female and the deep voice is male.
Oh, that was they've made an effort to make it open as possible, but they've got to link everything else in the game is linked to your character. They've got to link it to something. I mean, picking at straws really aren't.
It's not. That is the starting point, as they say. But it's also that there are several trans bodies in posters and such, but they are always objectified for amusement, as opposed to any other particular way.
Yes, that's been quite that story's been going around a while, isn't it? Because there was a poster in a screenshot or a trailer. About a year ago, I think, that was really bad.
Female character with a huge transparent penis.
Yeah.
Or the huge bulges, and it's just to fetishize the trans body so that they just become exotic.
But then at the same time, isn't that gonna happen with this is it's a futurescape story, isn't it, of a twisted reality possibility? I mean, it's difficult for me to say. I can't complain about it because I don't understand it, but I can't, but I don't believe everything I read on the internet either, because I'm not stupid enough to believe that everybody that thinks they've got a voice is valid. In the same vein that people complained about Last of Us 2, I seen absolutely no issue with that whatsoever. I thought it was almost perfectly done. And in this particular instance with Cyberpunk, if they're looking at a twisted future, you only need to go back 30 years to look at the gay and trans communities back 30 years ago in comparison to what they look like in the media and social media and stuff now, to see the comparative difference in just 30 years there. So we're talking 57 years in the future. There's a good chance that things like that might be there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
they've made a attempt at trying to do something really brave and really strong, and in just a way to try and help as much as they possibly can in the format that they have, which is putting out video games. And they have been, well, let's just say they were wrong in the eyes of the trans community in what they did. But it's more, they've attempted, which is more than most other companies have tried. The fact that they got it so hilariously wrong is the problem. And it's the way that they've done it, and the way that they've received their backlash for it is just gonna act as a somewhat catalyst. It's either gonna cause other companies to once again not try, or two, it's going to make people and companies try and do it right, as it were. And as a cisgender
there is no
male,
way
I
to do
don't
it
really
right.
get a vote in this.
There's no way to do anything right, because there's always going to be a minority or a majority complaining about it one way or another, because that's the internet.
Especially with a hot topic subject like this. It doesn't matter what you do, you could, I'm going to say this as politely and as politically correctly as possible.
You could go and fuck yourself.
No, you could spend the next 5 years trying to get a member or members of the gay, trans, everything else community into your studio. You could get as many examples of how people can be different as possible. There will still be an outlier that you missed who will complain.
Yes.
No one ever puts middle-aged, miserable, sad, bagging under the eyes, balding white guys in games anymore. And that's my complaint.
Just keep playing. Just play Heavy Rain, mate. Heavy Rain over and over again. That's all you need.
There is that one character in Heavy Rain that is basically you, but American.
Well, there's my complaint. You know, that a bald, middle-aged white guy is only American? We're English too, mate.
No, you're not.
You're not English, you've got bad teeth as well.
British too. I'm a member of the United Kingdom.
For now.
Yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
There's always going to be complaints. The value and validity of those complaints notwithstanding, there's always going to be ridiculous amounts of complaints. That's just the way things go. If those complaints are legitimate and valid, then I will stand behind them 100%.
Yep.
But if it's just if I look at it in a different way and I just see a load of people pissing into the wind, then it can, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, considering there were some legitimate complaints about transphobia and the way trans people were represented in this poster thing a year or so ago from CDPR and Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think what we're looking at now is an issue. I think there needs to be a point where you're not having to load so much logic into too much logic into your game to account for absolutely everything, and linking dialogue choices to a voice type, I don't see an issue. I don't. But again, I'm not part of that community, so I find it hard
what people wanted was the ability to choose pronouns at the start and then to select any combination of what it is that you so choose to be represented by, whether you have a masculine voice or deep voice, high-pitched voice, and then the genitalia you so choose and or body type that you so choose of the masculine body type or the feminine body type. If the decision had been picking pronouns at the start, they would have been applauded for it. Missing one tick box essentially has caused this, and as I don't want to make it seem like I'm okaying everything, it's just we should probably leave it at there. We've got no argument.
None of us are allowed to have an opinion on this because it's not anything to do with us.
Did anyone? Was there ever any mass complaints about the fractured butthole?
No.
Because that had some fucking crazy ass.
Well, let's start with the difficulty selection on the
The
Fractured
difficulty
But
selection on there was fucking priceless. As in, if you were pasty white, you were playing on easy. If you were black, you were playing on fucking mega difficult, basically. Which is
Wasn't it
brilliant.
just like a slider that was?
It was a
wasn't
slider,
even,
yeah, that changed your skin colour to
but
how
it didn't
hot.
actually make a difference to the overall
No,
difficulty
it
of the
didn't.
game.
It didn't make a difference.
It was just
But
it was arbitrary.
it said that it did,
Yeah.
which was the funny thing. And then obviously for the whole game, you're trying to decide what sex you are and what gender orientation you are, and so on and so forth. And it's quite funny.
Yeah, but it's the annoying thing is that it's obviously people expect that from the creators of South Park in one way or another. Therefore, it's, for the lack of a better term, okay for them to do it. People have been lauding CDPR ever since The Witcher came out, the first one, and then the success of 2, and then even more so the success of 3.
But then even 3, in theory,
10
went
years
down the
worth of
same
Cyberpunk.
route in terms of it was, whereas the recent thing about Geralt is actually disabled.
Yeah.
But then when I read it, he's basically got back pain and knee pain, so he's basically a middle-aged man.
Yeah, he's
all he needs to be is balding and tired, mate, and he's you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
But
I mean, he
prettier.
probably will start balding at some point. He's very, very old. But no, he's got severe nerve damage, so he is invisibly disabled.
Oh my god!
As they are. It's it falls under the category of he's disabled, but you can't see every disability. But in The Witcher, the video game, it's not strongly shown, but considering the rate in which Geralt takes damage from fall damage specifically is one of them. It's he does essentially die from not very far falls, probably due to the fact that he's easily hurt and as such.
God,
but
rubbish! You're clutching at straws there, mate.
Dude falls off a cliff and dies.
They didn't address fall damage very well. It's mate, not cliffs, mate. It's literally like not even very high.
That's legit. You don't need to fall off anything very high to get a serious injury.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's move on to what we've been playing. Lee, you didn't play anything. Brooks, go.
Before we do that, I've got to go for a piss, boys. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Bye. Should have gone earlier when you cut off.
Yeah, Sony.
Well, I'll do what I've been playing because Brooker knows what I've been playing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I have continued to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I have finished the main storyline and a couple of extra little bits extra from that storyline. I enjoyed the main storyline. It was good. It was the game itself is too fucking long. There's too much empty space. Although, you know, at least it's pretty. I'll give it that. It's attractive. It's not like Breath of the Wild, which was just empty cell-shaded space. It does look beautiful, and the light change and stuff like that is great.
Yeah.
The story was good. I enjoyed it. I played as Cassandra. I thought it was really good.
Isn't Cassandra supposedly the right choice?
Oh, I don't pay any attention to that because I don't know how many there's multiple endings for this one as well. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, like,
seriously,
canonically,
what the fuck?
that they've made it so that Cassandra is the
possibly, but at the same time, I don't know what the canon ending is. I mean, in a game this big, why would you put multiple fucking endings in? Seriously, who the fuck is gonna if there's 9 multiple endings in a 120-hour game? Who the fuck has got enough time to go and play a 120-hour game 9 times?
What the fuck are you two talking about?
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, fuck no. 100%.
It's got multiple endings. And I don't think... I mean, obviously, you can create a save point before any particular point. And obviously, I think one of the points, the first point that makes a big difference is relatively far into the story. But even still, who the fuck is going to do that shit? Seriously, piss off.
Some people really like Assassin's Creed and don't have day jobs.
But there's a new game plus. When the new game plus popped up to me after I finished and playing storyline, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding? Seriously, are you fucking kidding? What? I'm gonna go back through it again?
I
Absolutely not."
I missed the beginning of this. Have you started what we've been playing while I was having a leak?
Yeah. I just thought you
Yeah.
already knew what I've been playing anyway, so I'll get cracking.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I did enjoy it overall. I'm still enjoying it. I've just started the Legacy of the First Blade DLC, which I can tell is fluffed out a lot in terms of it's going to make you do a lot of traveling from place to place, which is just great. And you can always tell when, like, I mean, I think I spoke to you guys earlier, but you can always tell when they fluff it out because they put it in a place, or they'll start your mission in a place that's at least 500, whatever their measurement unit is, let's say yards, for instance, because it's old school, away from a fast travel point. And then whenever you speak to a character as part of the storyline, they always go, "Okay, yeah, that's great. We've done brilliant work here. Let's go and talk back at the base." I'm like, "Why can't we just fucking talk here? You know, I'm stood right next to you now. You don't need to walk over to your base, which is 300 away in the opposite direction and 500 away in the direction of the fast travel. Just, I'm standing right here. Just fucking talk to me here." And just stuff like that, you know, you can tell when they've just fleshed it out to add a bit of time here and there. And there's nothing in that 300, but 300 yards between you and where they are. There's just wilderness. And you just think, well, was it really worth fleshing it out that much? Part one. But it looks good so far. And the guy that you meet, I can't remember his name. Is it Darius or something? Which tickled me, I think. But because it just reminded me of the guy. Yeah, no, Darius just reminded me of the guy from, was it X Factor? I can't remember what fucking thing it was now. Years and years and years ago, like one of the first ones.
That's a reference you'll never get me understanding, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He released a load of songs, actually, and they got in the top 40, I think. But yeah, he looks like an assassin. So there is that. But other than that, I've played a little bit of The Fractured Butthole. I'm still going through that on my Switch. And that's pretty much all I've played. I have got Cyberpunk. I have installed Cyberpunk. But I am not going to play it. I think I'm going to wait. I've got plenty of other games to play. I think I'm just going to wait until
the optimized version comes out.
It's fixed.
I'd wait until 6 months after the optimized version comes out.
Yeah, I'll wait for the optimized and sort of check in online and see how it's running at the time. Basically, but I'm not in a rush. I've got literally hundreds of games in my playlist, so.
Yeah. Cool. So that was Lee's plays. Brooks, go.
I have 3, 4, I think. Where should I start? Let's start with shit and work up. So, after refusing to buy anything fucking Ubisoft because of the shit that came out with them, I had a couple of conversations with a couple of people about like not buying their games. I said, I'm just flatly refusing. And I got pointed to a couple of articles now, and I said, like, every developer that's been interviewed about these things since this happened, the whole sexual harassment thing and that, not one single developer has said, please God, don't buy our game. You know, they've all, and I'm not talking like Ubisoft marketing managers, I'm talking about the people that actually make the game. They obviously they still want to make the games, and that's still what they want to do. So I thought, you know what, I refuse to pay fucking full price for their games, but we'll grab it anyway. So I decided to buy Watch Dogs because it was in a sale. Watch Dogs Legion has an interesting USP. I think it's got some big ideas, and I quite liked Watch Dogs 2. I really liked Watch Dogs 2, actually, if I'm honest. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was much better than 1. So I thought, you know, if we can continue to evolve, we'll have a good game here. No, we don't. There are a lot of problems with Watch Dogs Legion we'll start off with apparently everybody talks like a stereotypical Londoner in this game. It really fucking annoys me. The accents are, we're talking fucking Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins shit going on everywhere in
Nice.
this.
All right, governor.
And it drives me up the fucking wall. And I'm listening to it go, please just shut up. And I'll go, no, you can recruit anybody. Absolutely anybody. And it is literally anyone. You see an NPC, you can scan them, you can do a little recruitment mission, and they are now part of your little gang. It's like, great, I've got about 12 people in my gang, let's see if I could change it up a bit so I ain't got to listen to these stupid fucking accents. No, they've all got the same stupid fucking accent, and it is impossible to play it without getting angry. 1. 2, because you can recruit anybody in this game, and you can do any mission in this game with any of these characters, there's no engagement at all. None.
I figured it would be like that.
So at least with like Aiden Pierce, there was a story. You were on a bit of a revenge track. You were an angry dickhead who just wanted to hack the world. That's fine. And even with 2, you had a character that you played as. The story centered around you. You could get engrossed. You could get immersed. You could be part of the story. You're not in Watch Dogs Legion because at any point you could just be a different character. And sometimes it's not even voluntary. If you fail a mission, your character gets arrested and you get to restart that mission as a different character. Great. There's no mission checkpoints, there's no restarting, nothing. So if you fuck up a mission, you just have to eat it. Which doesn't fall into the standard Watch Dogs kind of build thing, and I don't think it fits that kind of game at all. This isn't like Until Dawn or Man of Medan, where when you fuck up, you've really badly affected the story. You've lost a character and now you just have to live with it. It's an open world, semi-RPG, future hacking everything game. It doesn't need that. But the biggest fucking problem with Watch Dogs Legion is I played it for about 25 hours and progressed a whole 6. Because it kept losing my fucking save. Over and over and over again. It refused.
Oh, nightmare.
And we were talking about this with Cyberpunk. You expect bugs. It's a massive open world with a massive engine behind it and a massive amount of logic in the background, so you can recruit absolutely anybody. So everybody has a mission. So everybody has a story, and everybody has a unique reason to recruit them or whatever. You cannot clear all the bugs. You can't. It is impossible. And like we said, that's just the price of entry for a big open world game. We deal with that. What I won't deal with is a completely repeatable and completely recreatable bug where I just lose hours of progress because Ubisoft have taken it upon themselves to force my save into their cloud because apparently the Xbox One isn't fucking good enough. I don't...
Oh, cattle truck those Piccadilly petrol tanks.
Those...
Sorry, should I have done that in a Cockney accent? I'm not very good at Cockney accent. I do
don't
know
know
my
what that
Cockney
was.
rhyming, though. Well, I think cattle trucks is fuck.
I've never heard that.
Piccadilly is silly.
Yeah.
And petrol tanks was Yanks.
Never heard that one either.
Yeah, see, I know those ones. I know a few more. Do you want me to reel off a list?
I know a fair amount, thanks, mate.
I just can't do that. I can't do the accent, mate.
But what I don't understand... So doing my reading, it appears that Ubisoft have put this Ubisoft Connect, Uplay save thing into their game. So you can take your save with you when you upgrade generations. So if you're playing on Xbox, your save will just automatically be loaded in. If you're going from Xbox One to the Series X or Series S, your save will just automatically come with you. It would fucking do that anyway.
Yep.
It would do that anyway. But On top of that, I'm already playing on a Series X. What am I going to do? Downgrade to a 1? I don't need it. I don't want it, and I need the ability to play the fucking game in offline mode so my goddamn save stays put. Until it's there, I've turned it off. I'm not playing it anymore. I don't want to keep playing the same 4 fucking recruitment missions over and over again because the goddamn save can't stick. Because of all the companies in the world who think it's a good idea that I rely on their servers for my save, Ubisoft at the bottom of that list, lads.
Their servers have always been fucking pants.
Always. Always and forever. Terrible fucking system online. Uplay's always been awful. I don't understand the logic behind it. It's really fucking stupid. And it's game breaking. Why the fuck they thought that's a good idea and why the fuck they haven't fixed it yet is just unbeknownst to me. I don't get it. So, binned it off. Uninstalled it. I'm not fucking playing it until someone comes back and tells me it's been completely fixed. And even then, I'll wait for all the DLC and shit to come out and then just do a quick run through because I'm not wasting more time with it. Next. Gears. It was my co-op choice for the final co-op challenge of the year. So I wanted to have a look and see what Gears looked and played like on the Series X. So I dragged you guys and a couple of your mates, because they weren't my mates, I don't know half of them.
No, you don't.
Into some Horde mode. Dragged my brother in as well at one point. Over a couple of days. Was a lot of fun. It was Gears Horde mode. I really enjoyed it.
As did I. Gears is always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Gears.
It's the classic Horde mode, the original best Horde mode, and probably still is best Horde mode that you can get and play.
Yeah, I think when you're playing, I don't like playing Gears online with just random people anymore because I'm not that good at it nowadays, and I don't really like the fucking shotgun fest it turns into. But you know, playing with you guys, playing Gears in general is always a lot of fun, like you say, and playing with you guys was a blast. A couple of days, shot the shit with everybody. I really enjoyed it. It was Gears. I did not realise that there was a new DLC co-op campaign coming out for it this week. Otherwise, I would have said let's leave it and we'll come do it next week. But yeah, it's out today or yesterday or something. Apparently, it's got issues with unlocks. I was seeing a lot of stuff online about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I finished Astrobot or Astrobot's Playroom, Astro's Playroom on the PS5, which is basically the Alex Kidd of the PS5. It's pre-installed, comes with your machine, and it teaches you how the controller works. Because obviously the DualSense 5 has got a bunch of new little features on it, and it's always good to be taught. That's the same way as like Wii Sports taught you how to use the wiggle remote when you first got your Wii, and 1-2 Switch was supposed to be that for the Switch, except it was a £45 game that nobody fucking bought because no one wants to buy a £45 tutorial. But Astrobot is actually really good. It's a really fun 3D platformer. You bounce your way through 4 very different worlds and use the controller for many and varied things. You know, use the gyro on it to steer yourself around, and use the touchpad on it to catapult yourself about. And it's fun. It's got a lot of little Easter eggs and throwbacks for like the last 20 years of PlayStation. And then once you finished it, there's you then get to play a T-Rex demo thing from the old PS1 days. Loads of fun. Anybody that owns a PS5 that hasn't played it because it looks a bit naff, it really isn't. It's fucking great. Definitely play it. It's weirdly addictive, and not very long. I think I finished it in like 4 hours or something. You know, it's not a massive game. And finally, I'm ending my year the same way I started this year and ended last year and started last year and ended the year before. I'm playing fucking Hitman 2.
Yeah, boy.
This
So
is
so
you
long.
are probably the most committed Hitman player of all time. You should
absolutely
probably
not.
win a medal.
I really
for
ain't.
this.
In the grand scheme of things, I am a very small fish in a very big pond.
In the over 35 age category, you're probably up there though.
Well, yeah, possibly. With the actual adults that play games category, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but okay, so for me, it's just the game that keeps on giving. So I bought it again the back end of last year when I said I was going to buy a PS5 because I want to play Hitman in VR eventually. So I bought 1 and 2 when they were in a sale. Well, I bought 2 in the Legacy Pack when they were in a sale on PS4, and I didn't get to play it very long because I got busy doing other stuff and that. So I reinstalled it when I bought my PlayStation 5, and I've gone back to it. And apart from maybe an hour and a half's work, I've completely finished the entire Hitman 1 campaign, which I really like. It's another 100 hours I've sunk into a game I'd easily sunk 200 hours into previously. There's nothing new for me to say about Hitman that I haven't said a million times already. I really enjoy it. It's a really fun pick up and play game. I got a little bit frustrated on the last level of the Hitman of season 1 because it's weirdly easy. It looks like it's going to be a challenge, but when you know it, it's really easy, and that actually makes it quite difficult to get a decent score in when you're trying to run around and do challenges and things, so you can get your mastery level up. So I'm just kind of working on that. Like I say, about an hour, and I'll be done with that because I know a couple of things I need to go and do it, and then I'll be moving on to the Hitman 2 campaign.
Good idea.
All ready for my prepaid for and waiting to be installed Hitman 3 that comes out on the 20th of January.
Hitman 3.
Well, that's not likely to happen, but it will be played to death, same as 1 and 2 have been.
Hopefully 3 is as good, if not better, than 2 and 1 have been. Otherwise, it's just going to imagine ending a trilogy with a game that you just don't like.
I think at this point, all they need to do is make it more of the same. I know there's going to be some changes to it, and obviously there's going to be some graphical fidelity changes and such. I was watching a dev diary the other day that said they're going to change like the ranking system a bit. So when you play the game or when you finish a mission, you either silent assassined it or you didn't, and that's it. It's pretty binary, yes or no. But they're tweaking it with Hitman 3, so there'll be different kind of rankings dependent on your style of play, because they always, although Hitman is a game you can approach in whichever way you fancy, it's always kind of assumed that you would try and do it stealthily.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me. That's the kind of game I like to play. But if you want to walk in there with a fucking shotgun and take out everybody and leave, your score is going to be less than fuck all. So I think they're tweaking the ranking system a little bit, so your rank when you come out, you could be a silent assassin or a marksman or a hired gun or something like that. A bit like how do you remember how the Splinter Cell Blacklist rankings used to go, depending on how you decided to play? Because you could run in and just mow down everybody, or you could sneak in and sneak out, or something a bit in the middle, and your ranking would change dependent on that. But you wouldn't be punished for it, and I think that's the point. I don't think they want to punish you in Hitman 3, because it does feel like a punishment when you fuck everything up and come out with a 1-star rating. How it's going to work, I don't know. In fairness to IO Interactive, they were changing and tweaking Hitman 2 right up until, was it December last year, when they said they'd no longer be supporting it because they're moving on to Hitman 3.
Yeah.
Because it basically, Hitman 2 or Hitman from the 2016 reboot basically turned itself into a live service, which while I'm generally not a fan of, I think it worked for Hitman because there was always new challenges appearing, always new targets appearing. You know, I spent a year with Hitman 2 in 2018, coming home every other Friday and going, ho, it's fucking elusive target time. And I was so, I've never been so excited to keep returning to a game every other week for a year. And if they can do that again for me next year with Hitman 3, it's already my game of the year. But yeah, I've been playing Hitman again, lots of it, and having a shitload of fun with it as well.
Yeah, you have.
But I said it before. It's been a long time since I've had a game that I've really enjoyed playing that much, and I know it makes for boring conversation because all I ever say is, I've been playing Hitman. I don't care. I've had a series of games, or 2 games in the last 4 years, that I haven't stopped playing yet. I'm okay with that.
Well, that's the important part. I mean, it's if the game gives you the fizz, as it were, or it gives you the good vibes, then it's worthwhile playing and worthwhile talking about every time. Doesn't matter how it may or may not be boring for us to hear it, or may or may not be boring for the 3 listeners that we have hearing about it. Passion is the most important part, and if you don't have it, then it's probably worse. Like if you were going to talk about any other game you may or may not have played that you just didn't like, then it's not going to be the same as you, even if you are talking about Hitman for the 18th time this year. Then yeah, we appreciate that you love it.
I like that it looked like I was all done with it, and then I went and bought it again and started from scratch.
But yeah, I mean, with Hitman 3 coming around the corner, yeah, I'm glad you're still finding time and the love to play Hitman's, 2, because you're kind of not really playing 1 anymore, as
no.
1 is now inside 2.
Yeah, so when you open up 2, if you've got 1 installed, it asks you what campaign you want to play. So technically I'm playing 1, just within 2.
One with 2's engine and it's the same engine. 2's mechanics, updated mechanics of long grass.
At this point, the only thing I kind of hope is that after hours and hours and hours put into this, when they load Hitman 1 and 2 into 3, I don't have to do it all over again, because some of these challenges are a fucking ball ache, man.
You're going to be playing Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 in Hitman 3's updated next-gen Series XS PS5 game.
If that's the case, I will not touch Hitman 1 and 2 in Hitman 3 and just do Hitman 3's campaign, because I will save it. I will save my next Hitman 1 and 2 playthrough for when I play it in VR.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they've, like you said, Hitman 3's got the new non-binary silent or not silent assassin.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could put that in the put 1 and 2 in the less binary category. I imagine doing the racetrack mission without having to worry about doing silent assassin. Big old sniper rifle on the tower when
it'd be awesome.
Just shooting everything.
I'm looking forward to getting back on that map. So that's the second map in season 2, and I'm looking forward to getting on that probably at the weekend.
Excellent.
But yeah, I think that's me done. I talked briefly about the shady part of me earlier. I won't talk about it again now till I finished it.
Coolio. Right. So I'm going to be very, very quick on mine, because my what I've been playing have been 2 games that I've not finished, and therefore shouldn't really talk too much about them, and a third that I've talked about for the last at least 3 episodes. I think it's actually 4 episodes now. So Destiny 2, still been playing that, both with Lee and with Nate, who was one of the guys that played Gears with. I'm further through each of the various quests that I've been working on. Still don't feel like I'm even close to finishing some of those exotic quests, even though I've managed to pick up another exotic quest. But said exotic quests now need me to play a game mode that I'm less excited about. It's not Crucible, so it's not that bad, but it is playing Gambit, which is the PvE game mode. Basically, it's you and a team play PvE, and you're competitively playing against another team playing PvE. And there are moments where you can invade their game and either A, get kills for yourself, or B, kill them for yourself. Either way, making it more difficult for their team.
Yeah.
So there's that. But that's the game mode that I now need to play for about 4 of my exotic quests, so at some point I will need to. GTA 5 has just had its latest update, which is the Cayo Perico heist, which is added in a new map, which so far is not available in free roam, which is completely fair. There is not a lot on the map for it. It's basically like a small island which is owned by a Colombian drug lord that looks a lot like Adam Savage from the Mythbusters
Okay.
guys. He is a drug lord who has some documentation which is basically calls in a different drug lord who has hired you to try and steal those documents back from that other drug lord. But while you do that, you can also steal like drugs, cash, gold, artwork, all kinds of stuff. But this interesting thing on this one, I say interesting for me on this one, is that the heist can be done solo as well as with teams up to 4 people. At the moment, it seems like the most you can come away with on your own is approximately 1 million, minus fees and cuts of other people needing money. But if you play with a team of 4, your cut. The overall take can be just over 5 million. So I think the maximum so people have found so far is 5.3. So basically, you can take away 1 million, or 4 of you can essentially take away 1 million.
Okay.
As you can do 25% cuts. However, the way that the cuts work out, everyone needs a minimum of 15%. So obviously, the more people you have doing it, up to 4, the more money you can steal. But at the same time, their cuts also cut into that. But if everyone has about 15%, then apart from you, so you're on 55, you come away with a good tasty 3 million. They come away with just shy of 1 million themselves. But I've not finished the heist once yet because it is taking fucking forever to do the setup for it. So at the moment, bang for your buck, it's quicker to do the casino heist so far. But I have yet to complete the heist once, so I don't know what the state of play is for second attempts and third attempts onwards of this heist. If it involves the same amount of time and setup, then yeah, it's just not worth it really. There's a lot. It's essentially running around this new, albeit much smaller island. If you drive around, you get caught by the guards a lot. It's because they obviously are looking for you driving a car. And I've been playing Cyberpunk, which I've only had one minor issue with playing it, and that's as I said earlier, driving into the city, especially early on when you're getting phone calls and meeting new people all the time. I've enjoyed it so far. My only complaint, mechanic-wise, is the driving in the game is atrocious.
Fair enough.
But I've had no game-breaking issues. I've had some good long stints on it and had no real issues. Just like every other fucking game you play, when you play it for the first time, it feels like you've made a huge dent, but you have no idea how far into the game you are. I'm on Act 2 because it openly says to you as you're playing it, Act 2. I've met Keanu Reeves. And yeah, I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to save actually talking about it properly until I've actually probably finished the story, which, with a bit of luck, will be this year. Because as of Friday, I will probably not be able to play it anytime. So, yeah. As I'm going away on Saturday until like I've no idea when I'm coming back. Probably the 2nd of January. But I'm still going to make our episode.
You mean you're not gonna take your Xbox with you?
No, because it would be completely useless there. I'm taking my laptop, and that will give me the ability to at least do the episode.
That's fine. The episode will be short.
Yeah. And so that's that. And speaking of said episode, that is our end of year podcast extravaganza, where we have our host, which is you.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm hosting it. Yeah, I am hosting next week.
And it's going to be our typical end of year, whatever we're going to call our awards this time round, because it used to be the Millbrooks, or the Brookies, or the Millies, or however you wanted to call them, because it was just us two, but now we've got the Millbrooks with Love Ridge. So we've got that going for us.
It's going to be fallen asleep.
No, I'm here.
I don't believe you. He's definitely asleep.
I think we could go with Brooks Love Mill, or Mill Love Brooks. I prefer Mill Love Brooks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, all right. The Mill Love Brooks.
But I do like Mill Brooks with love too, obviously.
Either or.
So yeah, we answers on a postcard. Whoever wants to decide on what we're going to call our awards from now on, until we eventually maybe get another 4th host. For some whatever reason, someone else wants to join our little bundle of joy.
Lads, if we end up with a 4th regular host, someone else is going to have to fucking edit these podcasts, man.
Well, that's the thing. It's if it's a 4th regular host, it's going to have to be I don't know, spiral out. Like only have 3 at most per episode, unless we're doing like a big, for some reason, episode. But that's not a problem for us right now. That's a future us problem.
That's a never us problem.
God, hope so. But yeah, our generic awards show, we're going to have our top 3, our bottom 2 of the year, games that were released in 2020, or at least since our last awards show, because I don't even know when that was, but I don't know whether any games came out very late December last year.
Did any games come out on the 31st of December 2019?
I don't even remember when our awards show was last year. Was it then?
Ish.
It can't have been. Whatever. Whenever that episode was. But also our honourable and dishonourable mentions. One of each, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think I've played that many new games this year.
That's the thing, is that there's not been... I haven't played that many. I think I actually have a list of all of the games I've played where I've actually anticipated games I was going to play and then have since deleted them because I know I'm not going to have a chance to play them before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then other games that I've also randomly picked up because they just sort of fell into my lap at the time.
Yeah.
I've got 9 or... No, that's 10 to choose from.
Fair enough.
So a 3 best, 2 worst, and then 2 honourable mentions pretty much leaves, like, well, a game that isn't mentioned in the slightest. But and then some, anticipated games for the coming year, where we're all going to pick Elder Ring.
Yes, definitely. Because Elder Ring is definitely coming out in 2021.
Exactly. I mean, that's why it's the most anticipated game for the Game Awards, because it's coming out next year, right? That's how you can anticipate a game coming out in the next... is because it's actually going to come out in the next year, because otherwise...
There's no way it's coming out next year. No way.
No.
That'll be postponed into 22, easy.
I don't even think it's even been confirmed to even attempt to be coming out this year.
I don't think it was for 2021 anyway. It was just most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Which mine is probably now Mass Effect.
Yes, probably. Even
at the moment.
Other than that first video, yeah, I'm hopeful.
I don't want to get a boner for it too early though.
No.
I've got God of War and Horizon to come first.
Yeah, spend the next 2 years getting super excited about the game. Bad move, that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to stop myself getting a massive Woody for a new Mass Effect game. A mass erection.
No.
Good one.
But that's it. So Brooks, where
Yes,
can
mate.
people find you?
In my house.
Are you actually inviting people around?
No.
Is that because stalkers? Yeah.
No. Oh yeah. I'm that popular. 100%.
Well, I know at least one Irish person that may or may not turn up at your house if you're just going to throw out that invite.
True. Anyways, you can find me on Twitter. I am at Brooker411.
And Lee, you go.
I am Pyro Loveridge almost everywhere, and a little side project I've just started on Twitter, Video Game Wildlife.
Is it called Video Game Wildlife? Is that the handle?
The handle is Video Game Wild L1, I think.
Wow.
So it's pretty close.
Cool. Because we're going to need to actually plug that properly in the tweets and or Instagram some way or another.
Well, there's no need for that. I'm not too fussed. It's just
it's
a little
happening.
thing that I like doing, you know.
It's
And I
happening
like
as
wildlife in
soon
real
as
life, but
Brooker
because
remembers that it's going.
oh yeah, but because I can't get out or go anywhere and do anything, I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to do it in games instead.
I'll help you out. There is not much wildlife in Cyberpunk 2077.
Well, you know, you'll be surprised. I'm guessing there might be rats and stuff that you miss out on, you know.
I've not seen any animals one way or the other, like not even like birds or anything.
Well, there's a
They've not been
fucking
patched
shit
in
ton
yet,
in
that's
Odyssey,
why.
mate. Yeah, they are
so-
there. You've just not seen them yet.
So the Cayo Perico heist has a humpback whale. It's beached and clearly dead, but it's there.
Doesn't count if it's dead, bro.
That's what you said. Oh, I suppose it's not wildlife then, is it? It's wild
It's
death.
wild dead. It's wild kill, mate.
And I am the John_CU on Twitter, and on Xbox Live I'm Long Dong Silver. But if you don't like us as individuals and you only care about the unit that we are together, then you are listening to the Character Unlock podcast, and we have a Twitter handle of Character Unlock, a Facebook page of Character Unlock, and other places that exist of Character Unlock. So that is our delicious 1 hour plus many extra minutes, but not 2 hours long episode. It just leaves us with the goodbyes. So say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.